Hey friends, okay, before we get started on our workout video, I wanted to stress two things. Number one is to breathe. A lot of times when things get difficult, we hold our breath. Don't do that. Yoga is all about the breath and being very aware of our breath, breathing and our breath. And so you want to breathe through these exercises. The other thing is time. You need at least 30 seconds for your muscles to stretch and to get long, and so it may seem like I'm holding some of these poses for a really long time, but you can gauge this if you're working out on your own by holding usually about 5 full breaths. That means an inhale and an exhale, number one, another inhale, another exhale, number two. 5 full breaths will give you about 30 seconds to get the full benefit of your pose. Okay, and so now we're going to go ahead and start. So you want to come to your mat in a seated position, whatever is comfortable for you, whether it's a cross-leg position. If you can sit with your seat bones to your heels, that would be good. And just take a couple of good breaths, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth, and sort of set your intentions for the practice. You can close your eyes, you can keep them open, and just take a few minutes, a few seconds, just to decide what you want to do with this practice and where you want it to go. Okay, great. Come to all fours now. I'm going to turn to the side for you. And you're going to want to come to a tabletop position, all fours, with your hips above your knees and your shoulders above your wrists. And we're going to do a few cat-cows just to warm up the back a little bit. And so we are going to dip our belly in, lift our head up, and on an exhale, round up, drop your head, inhale up and stretch, exhale out, drop the head, one more time, inhale, lift the head, exhale, round the spine up, and now from here you want to come back to a seated position where you have your seat bones to your heels, and now you can spread the thighs just a little bit if you have to or want to, and we're going to come into child's pose. And so we're going to lean forward with our hands behind us, and the goal is to put our forehead to the mat and just stretch here and breathe through this. Good, now we're going to extend our arms forward into extended child's pose and stretch those shoulders out. Good, now we're going to come and make our way to a standing position. And from here we're going to do mountain pose. So we're going to want to stand with our feet about hip width apart. And we want our head over our heart and our heart over our hips, hands at our sides, and welcome a little organic movement. You can wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, and get yourself grounded and rooted. And we want to stand up nice and tall, shoulders relaxed and back, head back, and just find your balance, find your grounding. Good, then on an inhale, we're going to raise our arms up into upward salute. Remember to keep your shoulders relaxed and down, and if your shoulders are tight, and I actually happen to be very tight on my right side, you're more than welcome to bring your arms out just a little bit, but I'm working on my flexibility as well, so we're going to try to bring them close to our ears. We don't want to squeeze, but bring them up, and remember to tuck that belly button in towards the spine. You want to engage your core. Good. And then from here, we're going to swan dive down into a forward fold. And you can bend your knees generously here and let your head hang heavy. And wherever your forward fold is for you, let that be good enough. You can Grab each elbow and sort of sway side to side. Feel that nice stretch through the hamstrings. And just breathe any tension out of the back of those legs. Okay, from here we're going to go to halfway lift. You want a nice flat back. Turn over here, and I'm hoping mine is flat. You want a nice flat back. Shift your gaze forward just a little. You do not want to lock your knees. Put your hands on your shin and feel that stretch up the back of those hamstrings. Okay, from here we're going to go ahead and forward fold again. And then we are going to come back up into upward salute. Now from here we're going to bring those thighs together and we're going to sit back into a chair position. So you're going to sit your hips nice and deep. And I'm going to turn for you again. Sit those hips nice and deep. You really want to push back and see if you can see your toes. If you can, that's a good thing. You want to push your butt back, sit nice and deep, and really challenge yourself. Remembering to breathe. Good, come back up, standing position, and now from here, we are going to do a twisted chair. So bring your hands into prayer position. Your legs are squeezed together. We're going to sit back in that chair position, but this time we are going to bring our left elbow over to our right thigh. Good, come back up into a standing position, and now shake the legs out just a little bit and get the blood going. And now we're going to go over to the other side. We're going to sit back, check your alignment, make sure you can see your toes. Now we're going to twist this right elbow over to the left thigh. Great, come back to standing position, and let's go ahead and upward salute. Swan dive down to forward fold, halfway lift, forward fold, come back up to upward salute. Good, hands at sides. Now we're going to do tree pose. We're going to root our left foot, stand up nice and tall, solid that core up, and you are going to bring your right foot into your left thigh, wherever that may be for you. So just wherever you can get that foot at any level, you're going to focus your gaze on something fixed to help with balance. Hands in prayer position. And we're going to remember to breathe. Shoulders are relaxed and back. Head is forward. You're standing up nice and straight. Good, let's go over to the other side. Ground that right foot. We're going to bring our left foot into our right thigh. Hands in prayer. We are focusing our gaze. Standing up nice and straight. Breathing in through our nose and out through our mouth. Don't lock your knees. Great, back to standing position. Let's go ahead and upward salute, forward fold, halfway lift, forward fold, and from here, I'm going to move up a little. From here, we're going to step our left foot back into a high lunge. So we want our right knee over our right ankle or a little behind, not in front of. We want our left foot solid and grounded. And we're gonna, once we get our balance, we're gonna come up, lift our arms into crescent lunge. We want this leg as parallel, the right thigh as parallel to the floor as we can. From here, we're going to airplane our arms a little bit. So we're going to exhale down, inhale back up. Good. We're going to come on down, plant the hands to the ground, bring that right foot back. We're in plank now. We are going to chaturanga down to upward dog, roll back, downward facing dog. Now from here, you're going to want to paddle out your legs a little bit. Make sure your back is straight, shoulders are back, look towards your belly button. Good. Now we're going to walk that left foot up into high lunge. Remembering to keep our knee over our ankle or a little bit behind. That right foot is grounded, and we're going to get our balance and come up into crescent lunge. We're going to have this left thigh as parallel to the floor as we can. You're really going to feel a stretch in your hip flexor. Arms up. After you brush your hair out of your face. We're going to airplane. Inhaling up. Exhale. Good. Bring our hands down. Stepping back into plank. Chaturanga down. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, and paddle out the legs. Remembering to breathe, move around a little bit. Okay, we're going to inhale our right leg up and step it in to high lunge, spin that left heel down, and we are coming in to warrior two. And now for this one, I'm going to turn around for you, warrior two. There we go. Remember, we want our right thigh as parallel to the floor as we can get it. Our knee is going to be above our ankle or slightly behind. Okay, now we're going to take this right arm and lean it on that right thigh and stretch that left arm up and over. You don't want to lean hard into this leg. You should be able to lift this up. Good, now we're going to come back. Slide that left hand down the back of the leg and stretch this way. Feel the stretch down the right side of the body. Remembering to keep that right leg bent. Don't lock your knees. And we're going to come back into warrior two. Good. Hands to the floor. Right leg back into plank, down into chaturanga, upward dog, downward facing dog. Paddle out your legs. Continue to breathe. And from here, we're going to inhale the left leg up. Bring it through, high lunge. Spin that right heel down into Warrior Two. So you don't have to look at my butt. I'm going to turn it around for you. Warrior Two. Remember, I say this all the time, your thigh is as parallel to the floor as you can get it. Your knee is above your ankle or slightly behind. And you're breathing. Extended side angle. We're going to drop that left arm onto our left thigh and reach it over. Good. Reverse. And back to Warrior Two. And we're going to bring our hands down to the ground. Step that left foot back into plank. Chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Paddle out the legs. And we're going to hang out here for just a minute. Okay, now we're going to come down onto all fours. We're going to sit back again on our heels. We're going to do another child's pose. Forehead to the mat. Extended. Sit up. We are going to sit with our feet in front of us. We are going to lift this right knee. We're going to take our right hand and place it behind our right hip. Left arm and twist. This is Sage's pose. And any twisting poses are really, really good for releasing toxins. You're wringing the garbage right out of your body. So left leg up, left hand behind that left hip, right arm over, and we're going to twist. Okay, now we come into our final pose, which is the corpse pose, our final savasana. And here, you just lay back and let your feet fall open, let your palms come upward, and just take a few moments to relax and allow your mind and your body to absorb all that you just did. Pat yourself on the back because you just did yoga. And you can take as long as you like here. I'm going to go through real quick and show you a couple modifications. The plank pose may be difficult for some of you, and so this is our plank. If this pose is just too challenging right now, it won't be later, but right now, then you can modify that by dropping to your knees. So instead of doing this, you're doing this. The upward dog instead of doing this, that may be too difficult, because in upward dog, the only thing touching the floor are the tops of my feet, and so that may be too much. Come down on your belly and lift up into cobra instead. So when we call for plank, do a modified plank if you need to. When we call for upward dog, do a cobra there instead. And eventually you'll be doing the other postures. And so, yay for you. Namaste.